The fall of 2016 seemed like an anomaly. Due to an extensive drought that became the 5 driest months on record, wildfires, many of which were started by arson, broke out throughout the southeastern United States and within Great Smoky Mountains National Park. During early November, 5 different wildfires could be seen burning from the summit of Clingman's Dome. More than 130,000 acres in 8 southeastern states burned during the fall wildfire season. Throughout Great Smoky Mountains National Park, it was a banner-massed year, allowing wildlife to thrive. Oak and hickories provided a bounty of food. The trees were also affected by the drought and unseasonably warm weather. Leaves hung onto the trees throughout November, and no one could remember a fall peak occurring this late. Then, on the 23rd of November, a fire was illegally set inside the park near the second peak of the Chimney Tops. The fire crept and smoldered along the vertical terrain near the top of the peaks as firefighters worked to suppress it. On November 28th, a low-pressure system from out of the Gulf of Mexico generated mountain wave winds that strengthened in excess of 80 miles per hour. As wildlife scampered out of the area, these winds caused the fire to rapidly expand and hop from ridge to ridge. That evening, pushed by hurricane-force winds, the fire spread into the Gatlinburg community and merged with fires ignited by downed power lines, ultimately impacting 18,000 acres. All those in the fire's path were forever changed. As the smoke cleared, it could be seen that pieces of the park's landscape were altered. The wildfire caused a mosaic of burn severity. On the chimney tops, heath balls were heavily damaged due to heat intensity exposing bare rock. Yet in the lower elevations and valleys, burned areas were relatively light and patchy. Within a portion of the burn zone, Table Mountain pine habitat seemed to experience a complete stand replacement. Table Mountain pine is evolutionarily unique in that it uses fire opportunistically to propagate. Wildfire forces its serotinous cones to open, dispersing seeds onto the bare charred ground. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, in early spring, pine saplings began to emerge in the burn areas, demonstrating nature's resilience. Most of the Cove hardwood forests experienced a low-intensity understory burn, and spring ephemerals appeared as if on cue in early April. Trillium displays were some of the best in recent memory, taking advantage of the nitrogen-rich soil. As the trees leafed out and the canopy turned green, it became evident which areas were most severely burned. A variety of fungi began to appear, many of which only fruit after a wildfire. These fungi live underground and lost their host in the fire. It is theorized that they need to disperse their spores to find a new host. Plants took over the burn zones as summer began, hiding the wildfire scars. Asters and pale jewelweed arrived in great abundance, benefiting large numbers of pollinators. As summer turned to fall, rhizomes growing from the roots of burned tree trunks stood knee-high in many places. Table Mountain pine saplings began to cover the landscape. The next generation of this ancient forest, born from fire, has begun to rise from the ashes.